Welcome everyone. My name is Gayle, and this class is inspired by a quote from the Dalai Lama. So the Dalai Lama has a lot of wisdom and a great sense of humor. So this is his quote that is inspiring me. When you replace, "Why is this happening to me?" with, "What is this trying to teach me?" everything changes. So our perspective is huge to how we view the world, and how we're going to interact with the world, how we're going to think of ourselves, and really, are we going to be a victim or are we going to be an explorer? So there's always opportunity for learning, and we're going to do things like a little bit differently on the mat, and maybe it'll be something that you've done before, but typically we start at the front of the mat and step back. We're going to be doing some things where we start at the back of the mat and step forward. And just trying to maybe challenge you a little bit, even if it's just mentally. It's not like it might not be physically that hard to do, but it's all in how you look at things. So let's start by closing our eyes. And we'll just take 10 mindful breaths here. Breathing in through your nose. And breathing out through your nose. Filling up inside like a big beach ball. And then relaxing back to where we started. So you want to feel this big inner expansion and a releasing and then letting go. So that you feel movement in the stillness. And then we'll try and bring some stillness into our movement. So everything is a dance with each other. Remember, your perspective is key. So let's start on our backs. Giving ourselves a little hug. Hug your knees into your chest. Let your shoulders relax. And just think kind thoughts toward yourself. Then float your legs up in the air, reach your arms behind you. Press your low back into the floor so that your low back is flat. And point your toes. Keeping your back flat, lower your right leg just to hover above the floor. So a little bit higher will be easier, a little bit lower will be harder. So pick a spot that you can hold for 3 breaths. Press your shoulders down, press your low back down just a little bit. And float your right leg up, float the left leg down. Again, don't let your back arch. This would be arching. So instead, press your back down. Maybe even press the back of your hands into the floor a little bit. Reach out through your toes. And bring your left leg back up. We'll do that one more time on the other side. So lower your right foot to hover. Breathe here as you press. Keep your low back pressing into the floor. One more breath here. And then switch sides. So left leg hovers. Low back presses into the floor. You don't want to press it so much that it's creating tension that you don't need. But you do want to feel some tension, like this is work. Good. Bring your legs up and just relax for a moment. Let your legs float in the air above your hips. And now we're going to reach our arms forward with the shoulders lifted off the floor and do those same things 2 times. So lower your right leg to hover. Reach out through your fingers, reach out through your toes. Breathe. And bring your right leg up. Lower your left leg to hover. Keep lifting up as much as you can through your shoulders. Keep reaching out through your toes. See if you can keep your breath soft, even though you're working here. One more breath here. Good, lower down. Let your arms Lift up, hovering above your shoulders, your legs float up. And you want this to be very relaxed. We're taking a little break from what we just did. And we'll repeat that. So lift your shoulders off the floor, reach forward. Lower your right leg down to hover. Keep reaching out through your fingers and your toes. Breathe. One more breath here. Then reach your right leg up, lower your left leg. Stay here to hover. You can always take a little break if you need to. This is getting challenging for me, especially in my neck. So one more breath here. Nice, and relax down. Coming into dead bug pose, letting everything relax. And just floating your legs, floating your arms, floating your feet, floating your hands. And now we're going to rock back and forth, and we're going to rock up into a still Navasana. So that's boat pose. So you can follow along. So swing your legs over your head and then rock up. You can bend your knees or you can straighten your legs. Keep lifting up through your shoulders and your low back. And round your back, rock back and forward to hover. And rock back, rock up, forward to hover. 2 more times. Rock back, rock up to hover. And rock back, rock up to hover. This time, maybe you straighten your arms. And bring your heels over to your left side. Bring your right hand behind you. Sweep your left arm up. Reach your hips forward. And lower your hips down and twist to your left. Bring the right hand behind you. Open up, big stretch. And lower the hips down and twist. One more time, reach up. And lower down and twist. And now we're going to twist all the way around and bring your feet over to the right. Sit back. Reach your left hand behind you, lift your hips up, and lower down to twist. And inhale, reach up and back. Lower down to twist. One more time. Reach up and back. Lower down to twist. And come back onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips into downward facing dog. And just bend one knee at a time. Just playing around, exploring your down dog. Reach your hips way back. And walk your hands back to your feet. Coming into a forward fold at the back of your mat. You can bend your knees as much as you want or need to. Hold your elbows and just let your head dangle. Maybe sway a little bit around your hips. And release your hands, your elbows, and walk your hands forward, keeping your heels down. So you may walk forward a lot, you might not walk forward much at all. Reach your hips up and back. And inhale, round forward to plank, and exhale, glide back to your down dog. And just keep repeating that, finding a little wave-like motion in your spine. Moving back and forth. And then with your hips back, walk your hands back halfway. Now you're welcome to continue walking your hands back, or you could try bending your elbows and pressing off your hands, gliding back to your forward fold. Come up onto your fingertips and lift your heels up nice and tall. And lower the heels down, lift the front of the feet up. Just go back and forth 2 more times. And last one, lift up. Lower your heels back down, walk back forward into your down dog. Stretch out here. And lower your knees to the floor. Rotate your fingers towards your knees. Now, if your hands are further forward, it will be more of a stretch. If your hands are closer to your knees, it'll be less. So pick the distance that's going to work for you and rock forward and back. Good. Now let's bring our knuckles together. Make fists with your hands. Bring your knuckles together, and with the elbows bent, place the top of your hands down. And push into the floor, straighten your arms. Bend the elbows, lower the elbows down. And then push. Feel that nice stretch on the top of your hands into the top of your wrist. And you can even push down a little bit to engage the muscles and notice how that feels on your wrists. One more time. And walk your hands back forward. Lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back halfway or all the way. If you walked your hands back halfway, bend your elbows, push off your hands, come back to your forward fold. Bend your knees and come into Utkatasana. We're just going to do a lion's breath here to just let go of any tension, to kind of loosen things up. So lion's breath is when you, on your exhale, you stick your tongue out. It looks really silly, but we won't see each other. And you gaze up at your third eye and make this big audible sound like a So inhale, reach up, and exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And just pause. Well, release your hands by your sides. Lift and spread all 10 toes. Try and keep this spread as you lower your toes down. And think of weighting evenly into the tripod of your foot. So the mound of the big toe, the mound of the pinky toe, the center of the heel. We're going to step forward. So as you inhale, reach your arms up, pull your left knee up. Then bend your right knee a little bit and step forward into crescent lunge, letting the back heel lift. Bend your back knee, sink your hips down, and think of trying to make the front of your hip even with the back of your hip. So you're not tilting forward or back. Just a nice, even pelvic floor. And start to press out through the back foot. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, twist to your left. Bring your left hand down, twist to the right. And this time, come back through center, keeping your arms apart from each other, and then twist to the left. Arms up out to the side, twist to the right. One more time each side. Just holding your balance, gliding on your breath. And bring your hands back down. Sweep your left leg all the way back into down dog splits. And hug your knee into your chest, step your foot all the way forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. Sink the back knee down and then push out through that heel. Root down through both feet. Take a big inhale here and exhale, twist to your left. Swing the back arm forward and up and step back to your downward facing dog. Walk your hands back, halfway or all the way. Bend your elbows, press back into your feet, back into your forward fold. Bend your knees, come up to Utkatasana. And 4 more lion's breaths. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift, exhale. Inhale, lift, exhale. One more time. Inhale, lift, exhale. Reach all the way up. And pull your right knee up into your chest. Bend your left knee and then reach forward with your right foot as you lift the back heel up, landing in crescent lunge. Take a nice big inhale. And on your exhale, lower your left hand down and twist to the right. And lower your right hand down, twist to the left. Come back through center like airplane wings. And left hand down, twist to the right. Back to hover. Right hand down, twist to the left. Come back to hover. Left hand, twist to the right. Hover. Right hand down, twist to the left. Lower both hands down. Swing your right leg all the way up and back. Stand, down dog splits. And pull your knee into your chest. Step all the way forward again. Rise up, crescent lunge. Take a moment to adjust your legs. Get really strong in your stance. Take a big inhale and twist to your right. And sweep your right arm forward and up. And step back, downward facing dog. Again, walk your hands about halfway back or all the way back. And bend your elbows, press back into your forward fold. And walk your hands all the way forward. This time we're going to come all the way forward into plank. Keep your back nice and strong. Knees can be lifted or lowered. Lower all the way down. Point your toes, curl up into your cobra. Keep your legs strong, feet pressing down, chest reaching forward, and slowly and lightly lower down. Inhale, curl up to your cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And we're going to come back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Lift up onto your toes. And lift the front of your feet up. And lift and lower, back and forth. Walk your hands forward into your down dog. And lower your knees down to the ground. So I just want to remind you that if we're going to do some half moons, so you are welcome to use blocks if you have them, or books or anything like that for half moon, or you can just use the floor. So it's up to you. And stretch back into your down dog. Reach your right leg up. Bend your knee, open up your hips, reach your toes for your head and your head for your toes, and swing your leg all the way forward. And rise up, half moon pose. So stack your hips, stack your shoulders, reach your left arm up and reach your left leg up. Be strong through your leg, maybe gaze up toward the sky. Maybe even see if you could pick your hand up off the floor. Like, do you have enough balance to where you're not leaning into your hand too much? And then bring your left hand down, square the hips, and revolve half moon. Keep reaching out to that top leg, opening up across the chest. And bring your hand back down, step back, crescent lunge. Open up, twisted crescent. And this time reach back. With your arms, open up through your heart and swing the back arm forward and up. And step back to your downward facing dog. We'll sweep the left leg up. Bend your knee, open up the hips, reach your toes for your head and your head for your toes. And sweep your leg all the way forward. Coming up into half moon. Reach your top leg up. Stack your hips, your shoulders, maybe gaze up. Maybe you can play with picking that bottom hand up, even if it's just for a second or two. And lower your right hand down, square your hips, revolved half moon. Good, lower your top hand down, then step your foot back into crescent lunge, rise up, and twist to your left, reach back, open up across the chest, and windmill the arms, step back into your downward facing dog. And just take time to fully enjoy your down dog. Walk your hands back, either all the way or press off your hands, float back into your lunge. Bend your knees, rise up, Utkatasana. And straighten your legs, coming into Tadasana. Pause here. So lift and spread all 10 toes. Open your eyes. On your inhale, sweep your arms up. Pull your right knee into your chest. Bend your left knee and reach forward with your right foot. Coming into crescent lunge. And open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. So take a moment to adjust your stance. Just play with lowering your hips without overstretching the groin area. Then reach up and back, reverse your warrior, and come all the way forward. Circle your left arm, nice and slow. And reach back, reverse your warrior again. And come back through warrior two. Straighten your front leg, press into your feet, strong legs, reach forward, and come on into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Keep the legs strong and rooted. And if you want to play here, you could bring your left arm over your ear and maybe even reach your right arm off the floor. Then come on back up into warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And windmill the arms, step back to your down dog. Walk your hands back and either push back the rest of the way or walk the whole way. Bend your knees, Utkatasana. Straighten the legs, Tadasana. I love Tadasana, it's like Tadasana. So we're gonna step forward with the left leg. So inhale, sweep your arms up, pull your left knee up. Bend your right knee, reach forward with that left foot, land in your crescent lunge. Open up, warrior two. Adjust your stance as needed. Make sure that this front knee isn't collapsing in, but engage through your glute, your back glute. Press into your foot, both feet, extend out through the arms. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And come forward, rest your forearm on your thigh. Nice, soft, open circles. And reach back, reverse your warrior again. Come back through warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Push firmly down through your foot into the floor. And reach forward. Lower your hand down to a block or your leg or the floor. Coming into your triangle pose. Keep the legs strong. Strong and grounded, purposeful. If you want to play around here and try what we did on the other side, you could reach your right arm over your ear. Maybe pick your left arm up. Come back into warrior two. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And windmill your arms. Step back to your down dog. Now we're going to walk our hands back halfway and our feet forward so we end up kind of in the middle of the mat, coming into a squat. We'll just rest here for a couple of breaths. If you need to put a block underneath your hips, you can do that. If you only end up coming halfway, that's okay. You can lower onto the floor when you're ready. And then we'll all lower down together. Come onto your backs again. Hug your knees into your chest. And open your arms out to the side, bring your legs up. So start trying this with your legs straight, and you can always bend your knees if straight legs feels like it's too much on your back or any part of your body that might be feeling too uncomfortable. Otherwise, hug your knees in towards each other and start to bring your legs across to the right. Just to a point where you can still hold your legs up, but it's an effort. So I'm pushing down into my right arm, trying to keep the left shoulder down, really feeling those oblique muscles working. And pull your left hip down, bring your legs back to center, and twist your legs over toward the left till you get to that place where it's starting to feel hard, challenging, and see if you can hold it there. Keep your legs strong. Feel the oblique muscles working. Good. Come back to center. And now I'm going to aim to touch my feet to my right hand. So keeping your legs straight if you can. You're going to pike your legs and slowly lower your legs across. And maybe your feet land in your hand. Just let yourself relax here. So wherever you land is okay. If your feet are like further away from your hand, but this feels good, that's fine, go for it. If you can reach your feet to your hands, that could also feel really good. Now start to bring your left hip back down to bring your legs up. And we're going to twist to the other side. So if you can, keep your legs straight, keep them straight. If you need to bend them, bend them. Bring your legs all the way across, aiming for your feet to land in your hand. And let everything relax here. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. And pull your right hip back down, float your legs back up. Bring your feet down. And now we're going to do our legs up in the air. If you have a block or some kind of pillow or something that can lift you up, then place the block or whatever you have underneath your sacrum so your hips are elevated. And first, if your hips are elevated, even if it's like with a rolled up towel or blanket, see if you can stretch your legs out if that feels comfortable for you. If this pinches your low back at all, you can bring your feet in, lift your hips, do a little bit of a posterior tilt, meaning stretch your tailbone towards your heels, and then straighten your legs. We don't really want any pinching in the back here, so you could do one leg at a time as well. And we'll just rest here for a few breaths. Letting those hip creases open up, being in a different position than a seated position. And you can bend your knees and float your legs up. Interlace your fingers on the back of your right leg and push your leg into your hands so that you can support your leg staying still. And see if you can just rotate at the ankle. So let your toes relax so that the toes aren't leading the motion, but you're trying to feel a sense of movement in your ankle. Isolating that movement into your ankle. And just roll it in both directions. Like I find that my toes want to get involved and they start initiating the movement, but I'm trying to have them just be followers. Now let's switch sides. Same thing here. So we're establishing this strong, still foundation with our leg, relaxing our toes and moving the ankle in as big a circle as we can. And reverse the direction of your circle. Good. Release your leg, and then we're just going to externally rotate our hips so the heels touch, and then internally rotate so the big toes touch. And just glide back and forth between Charlie Chaplin feet and touching your toes. And if you don't know who Charlie Chaplin is, he was like this really funny comedian. I don't know when, back in the 20s or 40s or something like that, 50s, I don't know. Good, and then just point and flex. Bend your knees, lower your feet back to the floor, and if you were on something, slide it out from underneath. Slowly unwind your back as you lower down to a long spine. Hug your knees into your chest. With that feeling of self-love. So we can choose either to judge ourselves harshly, which seems to be, for some reason, kind of the natural way to do things. At least it's very easy for me to be really hard on myself. Or we can open up to the possibility that we have this beautiful soul, that we're connected to all this energy, that we have a choice, even when it seems like there's no choices. And we can have a choice to look on the positive side, even while recognizing the negative side or the difficult side. But knowing that we're making a choice, and we can ask the question, what is this trying to teach me? So just relax your legs out into Savasana. Let your whole back rest on the floor. Let your feet flap open. And feel your breath, especially the exhale, gliding you into a very deep relaxation where you're completely letting go and surrendering. Surrendering to knowing that there are just things that you cannot change, but you can control your mind and your reactions to things. It begins with mindfulness, and that's a big part of the practice of yoga. And the asana, the poses that we just flowed through, are a vehicle, a tool for creating a state of mind, reminding us to pay attention to the little things and to go with the flow, to draw inward, that life is an exploration and the journey inside will never end. There's always more to learn and discover. So I'm going to be quiet and stay with you here for another minute. begin to bring some soft, gentle movement into your body. You might want to turn your head slowly from side to side. You might want to stretch your arms over your head. Just move however your body wants to move without thinking about it too much. When you're ready, gently roll to your side and pause. Pause to notice and reflect. To notice what it feels like to be empowered rather than disempowered. That you can choose your perspective. That's something no one can take away from you. And it's very, very powerful. And keeping your eyes closed, gently roll up to a comfortable seat. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. Breathing in, I calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know that this is the only moment. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, for taking time to participate in this practice of self-exploration, and just notice, like, how do you feel after doing things a little bit differently? Maybe shaking things up a little bit and being playful and just knowing that there's always something to learn. So I would appreciate it if you would leave a comment, make any requests that you want. Please stay in touch through my newsletter and share this with your friends. And I hope to see you on the mat again soon.